Here's what you have to understand. When you get to a funded account and you get a $200,000 account, I will talk about the general pricing, which would be, let's say, $1,099. You pay $1,099 to get access to $200,000 worth of capital. Okay? That being said, you don't actually have $200,000. You have a demo account worth of $200,000. So this demo account is worth $200,000 over here, and you need to pass this evaluation phase by. Every firm has different rules and regulations, but the most is you can get to either a one-step challenge or a two-step challenge. A one-step challenge, meaning one step, get to 10%. Two-step, meaning get to 8% and then get to 5%. Now, I get it. You might be like, why would I do this? Why would I do this? These two are evaluation phases, which means you don't have the money yet. But if you pass these, you then get allocated the money. Everything you make on top of that, you make 80% or 90%, and the brokers, which is the funded firm, make 20% or 10%, depending on the rules and regulations of that firm. It varies. But all in all, I'm explaining this because normally what they do is for that 10% over here with the one step, they basically limit your leverage. So it would be basically a 1 to 30 leverage. This would be probably a 1 to 100 leverage. That means for every dollar you have in the market, you can work with 30. And that means for every dollar in the market, you can work with 100. What that also means is that over here, you can get bigger sizes. So that means you can get to 8% and then 5% way easier than how you get to 10% over here. But if you're someone, it depends how you want to trade. And if you're someone that's consistent, you don't care for both. I actually have both of them. So it depends on how you want to withdraw. This one, for example, I think it's like you withdraw every 5 days. This one you withdraw every 14 days. But obviously over here you withdraw a much higher account because you're making a lot more money. And over here you get to withdraw faster. So let's say over here from that 200K account, let's say I withdraw 5K every 5 days. And from here I withdraw probably like 30K every 2 weeks. That is funded accounts. Now, you have to get to 10% without breaching the rules. The rules would be daily drawdown and total drawdown. Whether you're in your evaluation or you're in your funded phase, your daily drawdown would probably be, let's say, anywhere between 3% to 5%. And here would be anywhere between 6% to 10%. These also vary depending on if you're getting a one step or a two step. I'm just explaining funded challenges, but when you buy a funded account, you need to look at what the firm is offering. But I'm explaining these, so when you see it, you're like, oh, this is what Jay was talking about, this is what Jay was talking about, etc., etc. It doesn't really matter. No one really cares. It's just what works for you best in your region, honestly. So looking at this, oh, spelling mistake here. You have a daily drawdown over here, and you have a total drawdown over here. That means on a 200K account, just still speaking about the same thing, if in one day you get to 3%, which is $6,000 of loss, you lose the account. If you get to $12,000 of loss in total, you lose the account. But that means you can lose 3K today, you can lose 3K tomorrow, you can lose 3K the day after, you can even lose 5K in one day, but you can never lose 6K in one day, or you can never lose $12,000 of the $200,000. That is how they work. And if you lose, you just have to buy another account. It's completely fine. You can do as many as you want. as long as you have the money for it. That's it. That's basically how funded accounts work. Now, I'm going to give you a little insight so you can understand how it is and what the funded firms actually require from you. And what they do require is for you to actually be profitable. I'm going to be completely honest with you. In both cases, they make money. So, if you are a profitable trader, when you withdraw your payouts, they will either agree with you on an 80 to 20 profit split. You get 80 and they get 20. If you lose the account, they get their money by you buying more accounts. If you are a profitable trader, that means you really understand trading, then they love you because that means they would allocate you $200,000. Obviously, they're allocating 200, but at any point you breach, which is you lose 12,000, they get their money back. Obviously, you can withdraw and then lose, and then after you lose, you just have to buy another account. So it's a loop for them to always make you buy another account. But if you're actually funded and profitable like I am, it's impossible for me to breach a funded account. I'm never going to risk 3% in one day. Like I'm funded with 3 million and I only trade with 1 million. And basically my 1% is $10,000, but I trade with basically a five to $10,000 stop loss. So if I get a 3%, 1 to 3 trade, I make $30,000. And if I get a 1 to 10 trade, I make $100,000. So I'm never basically ever going to breach an account because I'm never going to risk that much. And they already know this, which is why they love me. That means if you are profitable, you be classified as an A class trader. If you are classified as an A class trader, you never ever have to worry, A class, you never ever have to worry about them paying you out when you get to your payouts. And that is simply because they actually replicate your trades in the market. So you are actually making them money. So when you actually take a trade, they plug it in the market, you make money, they give you 80% and they take 20%. This is just how it goes. If you are a B class trader or you're risking everything or you're full porting the account or you're gambling, they will always have you be as a B class trader. They will downsize your leverage even though you bought a 1 to 100 and you risk everything in the evaluation phase. They will tell you, "Hey, we will send you the client agreement, you will sign the contract, and after you sign the contract, we will literally downsize your leverage because you are a risky motherfucker." And then they'll always have you handled. The criteria for becoming an A-class trader is basically withdrawing so much money and never blowing your account. And you will just know it because once you start withdrawing payouts, they will just send you the payouts in 3 hours. I'm not even kidding.